Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming because I love welcoming you to the Advancement Center here in Santa Barbara. And because of the advancement of technology, we are wherever you are and welcoming you to the world of magic and miracles. Yeah. Which is far, far beyond technology, and where your deepest wishes are heard and answered. I have a question for you. Perhaps this is the first time you've found us on YouTube. And the question that I have is, have you ever been cherished? What a question. I dare to ask this because as editor of Simeon's transmission yesterday, I wrote a little note accompanying the transcripts that I sent out. And it said, "Dear family," by the way, you are part of our family now, automatically. "To have heard the message from Simeon is to have felt cherished and valued. Read this to yourself and feel the love." And I signed it Love and Harmony, Barbara. Now, love is the prize, but I add harmony. One without the other is an impossibility. And unfortunately, love has many imitators. But we know the real one because we feel it in our heart. At this very moment, I want to tell you that your presence is recognized not as someone who just came by or who happened to find our YouTube, but it's a reunion. Coming together once again. My dearest friend Latvia, who lives in Turkey, I have never met her in person. But I say dearest because I feel her spirit when I read her words. And yesterday, when she sent a thank you note for the transmission, she wrote, "Thank you so much for the great transmission from Simeon. He says," and then she puts in quotes, "your position on earth is set before you arrive on earth." Close quote. Simeon's statement excites me so much love and regards from me. I know Latvia's spirit is alive and well and expressing her love beyond all physical conditions, government and otherwise. So that's a bond and a tie that we all have. with so many, and yet so many more to come. Now, our dear friend Tim responded. I mean, yesterday was a glorious day, and he responded when he says, it's become so clear and evident that these transmissions, especially this one, are continually revealing and exposing the endless layers of unique mastery, magnificence, and brilliance of everyone. What an acknowledgement. It thrills me to think of you hearing these words about you. And he quotes Simeon's words when he writes, "The brilliance of your capability is now showing. You are moving into an area where each step is majestic. Each feeling is beyond the physical plane, even though it occurs from the physical plane. As you connect to me, you connect to everything, to all the facilities available to me in the physical world, and to me in the world beyond all worlds." And then, of course, my favorite is this. These are Simeon's words that we all heard yesterday and are resonating to today. He said, "With a smile in your heart, you elevate everything around you, and you bring it up to a standard that suits you. Simeon's love, honor, respect, and unsurpassed recognition of everyone is far beyond description and so deeply heartfelt, appreciated, and treasured within. We're on the ride of expansion and awareness like never before, and Simeon continues to open the door wider and wider and shine the light on us even more. Are you feeling this message? Because this message is for each and every one of you. And it's my privilege and honor to extend it and hope that it catches fire to every last person, every living thing on this beautiful planet. It's all quite wonderful. And it's always such a pleasure to speak directly to you. I've noticed in meeting people from so many different walks of life throughout my life that everyone somehow has a private wish, a private image that they'd like to entertain Like someday, wouldn't it be wonderful if? No one is without deep wishes. And it's the pleasure of connecting with everyone to really listen and hear those wishes. And perhaps recognize what you have in common. Maybe you have the same wish that I've been having. Well, everyone has a private image of something amazing happening in their life. And it could be winning the lottery. There's nothing the matter with that. But I'll share you mine, my image of what I entertain myself with. And that makes me feel so good. You know, like a child thinks a beautiful thought before they drop off to sleep. Well, it came to me that there is this huge race, and every runner is flat out running their best, doing their best, competing and running and passing each other. And at one point, there's a hesitation, and all the runners catch up and form a line, and they're all holding hands. And crossing the finish line together. That's my wish. All winners. And this expanded to all of humanity and every living thing on this beautiful planet of ours. Flourishing, growing. And at this point in time, we're just entering spring. When the spring flowers are popping their heads, daffodils, crocuses, tulips, and everyone has a lightness in their hearts. Now, of course, we're talking about the Northern Hemisphere because our friends in the Southern Hemisphere, where Robert and I have lived in Australia, they're entering into the cold season. But for right now, we'll just be right here. It's a very, very precious opportunity to reach out and touch so many people all at once. But that goes on forever, because you may just find me next week, next month, doesn't matter. But I'm seeing here that it says, read your journal. So we've spoken about Simeon. Well, for years now, I've been writing to Simeon in my journal almost every day. And it's an expression of what I've been entertaining that day, and the wonders and the surprises and the miracles, and of course the magic. So here it is. And the best part of it is every time I write, Simeon answers. And I'm just going to pick it up here. This was written 9 o'clock in the morning this past Friday. All right. The advancement, and I'm writing this, dearest Simeon, the Advancement Center is truly a beacon of truth, a lifeboat, a lifesaver, a voice of truth in the cacophony of conflicting noises to the ears of the righteous. We cover the outer reaches of the universe, and David covers both the outer and the inner reaches. And I see my role is to see each one exactly where they are standing right now. The average one sees neither his focus, but rather, what day is it? How many days before that bill is due to be paid with money I don't have? A prerequisite is the ability to imagine, to dream, to know you have an origin and it isn't here on earth. For this to even begin to occur, there must be a commanding signal that captures humanity's attention. We arrive all trusting. We are home. If I can read my own writing, we are home, bearing that trust in our Creator and holding that light aloft for all to feel once again. Love, kindness, respect for one another once and for all again. And here is Simeon's answer. You are the mother caring for humanity, parenting with love, and preparing 3 wonderful parents to parent your 8 grandchildren. When your original services were no longer called for in the original, you expanded and offered your love and creativity to others, where life was too restricted behind proverbial bars, imagined or actual in psychiatric hospitals. You have seen the gamut of humanity. Who best to co-create the beacon, the Advancement Center? Your home now includes humanity to make feel welcome, feed with truth, and clothe with love and care. Any response from anywhere in the world is answered and a friendship is forged. You are the true mother. We adore you both. Love, Simeon. Wow. This contact is extremely important to me. And very often I will read Simeon's words to Robert and share that special feeling. Wow. Robert's words just 4 days ago touched me deeply, and I share them with you now. The feeling you have when your Creator reaches out and caresses your very spirit is something that each one of us cherishes and looks forward to, even for the slightest moment. A sense of that mystical interaction cancels everything in our life and brings in a fresh feeling of life itself. That very feeling is what drives us and gives us something to speak about when we feel ourselves capable of exactly the same thing. As we reach out and nurture somebody else, something else, a feeling, an event, and nurturing, simply an excitement and a bit of mischief. Each one of us has the capability exactly the same as our Creator to bring peace and harmony where it's not expected, through an interaction, a touch, a transmission of feeling, or a simple act of caring. That is just, every time I read that, everything gets brighter. I feel that caring, especially on Friday mornings when Robert looks at the pastel drawing I've done the night before. His words reach deep into my being. My creativity has touched another. That's, what else can we ask? And then David arrives and he uses different words, but he loves what has been produced there. And it's a happy time. So I guess time is to show you the art that came this Thursday night. Yeah, there it is. And it's just a field of roses and peonies and with a forest behind. So I just show these because they come from nothing. They came from a blank piece of paper. And our teacher is just so positive and beautiful. And he's doing it the same time we're doing it. And he's so encouraging. And it's good. I recommend it. But along with that recommendation comes a huge wish from me to each and every one of you. For a life that is so full with peace and love, and we call it perfect, and perfect health, and a future filled to the brim with magic, miracles, and a lot of love. Thank you for joining me today. I'm Barbara.